Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday Fun Day, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Pinewood Perspective. I'm Will G.
I'm Justin Brown, but you can call me JB.
Let's get into this week right off the bat. We're starting off with some fantasy football, some Week 2 predictions, a little Week 1 recap. We got it all this week. JB, why don't you kick us off for us?
We'll talk about last week. Will and I both went 9-6-1 in our picks. Over 500. The one tie though. The one tie, the Steelers versus the Browns. That was the surprise of the week.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually quite a few surprises from week 1. We'll get right into that for you.
We'll get into those. We're gonna start off with some standout player of the weeks though. Gotta bust it down with the QBs right off the bat. You gotta talk about Drew Brees, Andrew Luck, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. All three QBs balled out. You got Drew Brees going 37 for 45 with 82% completion percentage, 439 yards and 3 touchdowns in a loss. That's a loss. Drew Brees is always going to go out there and put up stats, JB. What do you think about Drew Brees' game?
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you last week. Drew Brees is one of the best at his position. He's going to go out every single week, week in and week out, and he's just going to put up numbers. So whether you have him on your fantasy team or whether you're just watching that stat sheet rise for him, he's going to have the numbers.
He will. Andrew Luck, after missing all of 2017, went 39 for 54 with a 74% completion percentage, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, and like I said, he missed all of 2017. That's a big first game back for the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of people were wondering if he could get it done, but I think he got the job done even though they lost. What do you think, JB?
He put up a lot of yardage. I feel like he probably could have made a few more completions if he would have looked the right places, but that's, again, just him knocking off the dust, getting back into things. Looking forward to the Colts turning it around, maybe.
Yeah, you never know with that team. And our last quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Harvard boy coming out of nowhere, going 21 for 28 with a 75% completion percentage, 417 yards and 4 touchdowns on a vicious Saints defense. Wow, that was crazy. That blew my mind. I was expecting the Saints to go out there and drop bombs on them, but,
One word for you, Will G.
What is it?
Fluke.
Fluke? You think so?
21 passes for 417 yards. Tell me, how many times is that going to happen, especially to Ryan Fitzpatrick?
It's pretty wild.
With 4 touchdowns to go with it.
On the Buccaneers. Running backs.
Oh, I got running backs. With Le'Veon Bell being out this week, holding out still, James Conner did a perfect job of filling his position, carrying his load of 31 carries for 135 yards and adding 5 receptions for another 57 yards for a total of 192 combined. I mean, if you picked him up off the fantasy wire, he put up a lot of points for you.
He definitely did.
Now, Le'Veon coming back. Don't know if this
took him off the roster.
This might give him. I don't know.
We'll have to see. It's just week 1 for the guy. You never know where he's going to take it from here, though.
Speechless.
Big numbers.
A guy that we expected to go out there and put up numbers again, just like Drew Brees. His right-hand man, Alvin Kamara. 8 carries for 29 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 9 receptions for 112 yards and another touchdown, combined for 141 yards and 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara. He's picking up where he left off.
Right off the bat, you might as well just toss him out there at the wide receiver position. 9 receptions, 112 yards.
He had more receptions than he had carries.
He definitely did.
PPR.
Fantasy numbers are huge for him.
Todd Gurley, one of my favorite running backs. Probably, if not my highest running back.
The dude balls out.
108 yards on 20 carries and 1 reception for a touchdown, which a little forward pass action. Kind of started slow, kind of started picking it up. Again, Jared Goff getting used to his offense as well. Todd Gurley, I think he improves from here. I think he puts up more yards, more touchdowns, maybe even a few more carries. Look forward to him.
That Rams offense is pretty good, Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp,
Brandon Cooks.
and then Gurley's just he's the main piece right there,
He's there.
He's there. He's
there
a
for
dog.
the rushes. He's there for the catches.
He's a dog. We're going to move on to some wide receivers this week. Big games out of Tyreek Hill, my fantasy boy, Michael Thomas, and Jared Cook. Tyreek Hill had 7 receptions for 169 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, and a punt return to top it all off. He went off. Patrick Mahomes looked pretty solid tossing him that football. And that dude can do it with his legs. Cheetah boy, super fast. What do you think about him, JB?
I don't think there's anybody in the league that can catch him.
Nobody's touching him.
You see him in the open field, he's gone.
Dude must be running like 50 miles per hour or something like that. You got Michael Thomas, who out of nowhere last year came out and balled out for Drew Brees, but a lot of people were questioning him. Could he do this for other teams? You got Drew Brees throwing the ball. But he went out there and put up 16 receptions for 180 yards and a touchdown. Those are big numbers. 16 receptions. That's 16 points right there in your PPR league. That's 16 points.
That's
numbers.
That's brute.
And then, not really a wide receiver, but we're going to toss the tight end in here. Jared Cook. Jared Cook had 9 receptions for 180 yards. That's big numbers for a tight end.
He looked like he was a foot taller than every other defender out there, and he was just snagging every ball that was thrown his way. I think he had 12 targets, I believe. Caught 9 of them for 180 yards as a tight end. You can't expect more out of a tight end.
Especially against a solid Rams D.
Yeah. Derek Carr has been looking short to the short passes, so I think this continues. I think Jared Cook still puts up numbers.
All right, well, that wraps that up right there. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back to you guys in a minute.
Are you looking for quality lawn work at a low price? Then Nico's Landscaping is the lawn care service you've been waiting for. They provide everything from mowing and cleanups to edging and raking. Call Nico at 815-505-6777. Again, 815-505-6777. Call today and schedule your free estimate.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed that quick commercial. We broke down our Week 1 players, and now we're going to be breaking down our Week 1 games. So, the Browns had their best start since 2004 with a 21-21 tie with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lots of missed field goals in the end there, and you seen the joy in the Browns fans' faces. That was a nice thing to say, but 0-0-1 for a starting record.
For the best start since 2004.
That's crazy.
With a tie. Okay. The Bears, Sunday night, blew a lead to Aaron Rodgers in the second half. LOL. Aaron Rodgers. We'll let the Bears fans cry about that one a little bit, but...
Wasn't crying, but there were some punches being thrown. John Gruden has been wondering why he could not get to Goff and Gurley in their 33-13 loss to the Rams. I've been thinking the same question. Like why? I think it might be
two numbers missing.
Two numbers missing from that defense. A 5 and a 2.
What was his last name again?
I just can't put my name on it right now. Mac.
Oh, I think I remember that guy.
Something cool.
What wasn't he like?
Kyle Mack.
Wasn't he like the defensive player?
Oh, he was the defensive player. Where's he at? He's on the Chicago Bears.
Oh.
What? Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Sam Darnold. What a debut. But let's talk about how he started. He started with a little Brett Favre action. His first pass, pick 6. After that, the man kind of exploded. A lot of it had to do with the Jets defense and the Jets special teams. Do you think he continues?
I don't know. I just want to know what was going through Jets fans' mind when he threw that pick 6, thinking, "Here's our first round pick, first pass on pick 6." But then, you got to look at Stafford. 4 picks in that game as well.
He'll bounce back.
I think he will too. He better. He's on my fantasy team. Bills Mafia, after making their first playoff year last year in 16 or 17 years, something like that.
Something like that.
Stunned 47-3 by Joe Flacco and the Ravens. But Joe Flacco and the Ravens definitely didn't bounce back after giving up 3 touchdowns to A.J. Green and Andy Dalton in Thursday night's performance.
I'll just let you know, my wild card pick right now, the Bengals, 2-0.
They're 2-0. They're in front of the AFC North right now.
I'm just saying.
They are. I mean,
It's a little early still, but 2-0.
definitely early. Definitely a little early.
The Harvard alumni, Ryan Fitz, tears up the Saints D, but is it a fluke or is it real? We'll go back to that.
I think it's a fluke. I definitely don't think that they're going to be as good. But you got questions with that team now. Ryan Fitz, who's going to be the starter come week 4?
I still think it's going to be Jameis Winston.
If he keeps playing like that, like I said, I think it's going to be a fluke. But if he keeps going up, he's got a tough first couple games. You got Saints, but he balled out, and then you got the Eagles this week, though.
He'll bounce back with 4 interceptions this week instead of 4 touchdowns. But
4 interceptions.
But the Saints defense didn't look too hot.
No, they didn't.
What do you think about the Saints defense?
I don't know. Where's all that big talk about them? Where's all that big talk that they had going on?
Missed
last year?
tackles.
Missed tackles.
Shot it out last year.
That game still blows my mind. We won't get into last year, though. JB, break us down with some fantasy talk.
My fantasy player of the week, clearly Tyreek Hill. You have him in any league. 7 receptions, 169 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, and a punt return for a touchdown. So if you get points for that too, that even boosted it up even more.
Which I did.
I think 42 points, I believe.
42 points, baby.
40. That's outplaying quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
whoever had him is probably sitting with a good 1-0 lead right now.
Oh, I'm definitely sitting with a good 1-0 lead. You mix him on my team with little Julio Jones, you're causing for a ruckus right there, baby.
Woo! All right, so my stardoms for this week, I got Kenny Stills. Last week, 4 receptions, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's kind of been under the shade. Danny Amendola now down in Miami. Jarvis Landry traded away to the Browns. Devontae Parker is still injured, but he's coming back in a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
I think so.
Something along those lines.
Something like that.
But I think Kenny Stills is an underrated wide receiver, and he's got a connection with Ryan Tannehill that I think will continue throughout the season. And I think he's one of those guys you want to pick up if he's available. Most people probably either drafted him late or he still might be out there. So go check that waiver wire. Another running back, Adrian Peterson. Monster first game. Is he returning?
I don't know. I mean, you think about that game last year that
Not
the
like
Saints
his prime.
had him last year, and then they traded him to the Cardinals, and he came out and he had a great game, and then after that, nothing.
Right.
But I mean, you never know. I mean, he might be trying to go out with a bang with one more year. Definitely no prime AP, but he looks solid.
Prime AP.
He looks solid.
My sit-em for this week, Amari Cooper. Derek Carr looked like he was scared. A lot of dump-down passes, a lot of short passes. Amari Cooper got 3 targets last week, 1 reception for 9 yards. That is a dud. If you want to argue me any different, then whatever. Jared Cook picked up 12 targets, 9 catches, 180 yards. And then Jalen Richard, the running back, picked up another 11 targets as a running back. So there you go again with the dump down, the short passes. I think that doesn't change either. I don't foresee them maybe going deep, besides maybe a few times a game. So for sure would say Amari Cooper this week.
Let's talk about some predictions. We'll break these down pretty quick for you guys real quick. So we're going to start off with game 1, Chiefs-Steelers. I got the Chiefs.
The Steelers didn't look great to me at all.
Big Ben. Ooh, wow. He was rough to watch.
Tied against the Browns. Browns is a new team, whatever. I got Chiefs. Tyreek Hill part 2.
I got Jets over the Dolphins.
You asked me week 1, I take the Dolphins. You asked me this week, I take the Jets. Jets look good. Defense look good. Everything look good. I said I'm taking the Jets.
I think Sam Darnold will have another good week. Game number 3, Eagles over the Buccaneers.
Fluke. Fitzpatrick.
Fluke.
Eagles defense equals 4 picks. All right.
Got the Saints over the Browns. You know, I think the Saints, their offense is too stellar. I think they're going to be shutting down the Browns.
The Saints didn't look good either. Maybe
didn't,
maybe the
but-
Browns slip in there. Maybe they don't.
Maybe not.
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
I
don't
got
think
the
it
Saints
happens.
though. I got the Saints.
I have the Colts over the Redskins.
I have the Redskins.
Oh.
I think Smith looked good in his Redskins debut. I think AP looked good in his Redskins debut. They string it together. I think they beat the Colts this week. I think the Colts still have some more dust to knock off, but
Agreed. I got the Chargers over the Bills. You got to think about last week. Bills got blown out 47-3 to a Ravens team, which I think the Chargers are definitely way better than that Ravens team. And I don't think it's going to get real hot for up in Buffalo. Could be looking at the bottom of the AFC East.
probably.
Yeah. Nathan Peterman. He's gone.
He's a stud.
Wow. Vikings over the Packers. You got him? You got Vikings over the Packers?
I'll stay quiet.
He's going to stay quiet. I don't think Rodgers is still up in the debate about him playing this week, but I don't even want to talk about last week. But I got the Vikings. I think their D is going to shut Rodgers down. I have the Panthers over the Falcons.
I have the Falcons. I think Matty Ice bounces back with a huge game. Panthers didn't look anything special, beating the Cowboys 16-8, but I think the Falcons bounce back. I think Matty Ice has a game. I think Julio has not as good of a game as he did opening night, but I still think he has a game. I think they string it together, maybe a few more touchdowns, and I think they take it over the Panthers.
I got the Texans over the Titans. I got a sticky situation going on in Tennessee right now. This week they're going to be splitting quarterback snaps between Blaine Gabbert and Marcus Mariota. Last week Marcus Mariota got injured. That'll be a little fruity. Don't know how that's going to work out for them, but I got the Texans over the Titans, you know.
Blaine Gabbert back on the map.
Blaine Gabbert.
I got the Texans as well.
All right. Cardinals and Rams. Pretty easy one right here. You know, Rams might be the team coming out of the NFC this year, and the Cardinals got smoked by Alex Smith and the Redskins last week. Sam Bradford, don't think he's getting the job done against that Rams D. I'm going to have to go with the Rams on this one. Pretty easy pick.
Rams started pretty slow.
They did. It was like, what, 13-13
13
and a half.
13 and a half.
And then
they
picked
exploded.
it up. They picked it up.
I think they find a way to string that all together, and I think they whomp on the Cardinals.
49ers. I got 49ers over the Lions.
I got the Lions. I think Matt Stafford gets his stuff together. I think he has a bounce back game. I don't know what was going on last week. It's the Jets. I shouldn't be worried about the Jets, but I guess he was worried about the Jets. I think he bounces back and beats the 49ers. 49ers were looking good, though. I think that's kind of one of those toss-up games. Probably going to be a even line coming right around 3 o'clock. Pretty even matchup.
I got the Broncos over the Raiders.
I have the Raiders. I think the Raiders proved to me enough to kind of put them back on my map. Stuck in with the Rams, like we said. 13 and a half. Broncos looked okay. Russell Wilson kind of gave him some, kind of held him to some when it mattered, but I got the Raiders. I feel like the Raiders are coming back.
That Broncos pass D is. Not pass. That Broncos rush D. That's some scary. You know, Chubb out of where did he go to school? Bradley Chubb.
Chubb.
Don't know where Chubb went to school, but
Yeah. I know. I'm just
all right,
blanking.
we'll get that to
We'll
another
skip
time. And Von Miller, 3 sacks against the Seahawks. I got the Broncos, but Patriots at Jaguars. Who you got, JB?
We got a rematch of the AFC Championship.
I'm going with the Patriots. You know, I think Tom Brady, he's going to go out there and he's going to get it done against the Jaguars just because I think that the Patriots D is good enough to shut down. I can't think of his name. Why can I not think of the Jaguars quarterback's name? Blake Bortles. Elite or not, shout out Larry Larson. Larry Larson thinks he's elite. But I think that the Pats D is good enough to shut down that offense.
Jaguars scored 20 points against
the Giants. The Giants.
7 of those credited to the defense. Didn't look hot, didn't look special. Their defense looked good. Could have told you that from the start. I think Patriots, you're not going to stop Tom Brady. You're not going to stop Gronk. You're not going to stop all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Patriots take this game maybe by like a 2-touchdown deficit or so.
Sunday Night Football, I got Giants over the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are highly overrated, and the Giants didn't look bad. You know, Saquon Barkley had a very, very slow start, but then a 68-yard touchdown run made him look good.
One rush.
One rush.
One rush put him on the
And
map.
then Odell was having a good game as well, and Eli actually kind of looked like old Eli there for a little bit. You know, I think they're going to beat the Cowboys.
That'll fall off. I have the Cowboys in this one. I think Zeke and Dak find a way to string it together, score some big points on the Giants defense.
Nope.
Giants
Don't see it
defense
happen.
is nothing special.
Don't see it happening. Monday Night Football, I'll be there. Catch me out there in the stands. You got the Seahawks at the Chicago Bears. Not going to get into last week because, you know, it's still hurting me, but I got the Bears stepping up big, and I think that they're going to beat the Seahawks this week. Who you got, JB?
I gotta say I don't see the Bears beating the Seahawks.
You're out of your mind.
I see the Bears holding the Seahawks to less points than I don't even know.
You're out of your mind. I think that they're going to obliterate. Jordan Howard's going to go off. Seahawks defense allowed the Denver running backs to have 188 yards.
Yeah, because their defense isn't that good.
Okay, yeah, and our offense is solid enough, and our defense is. Week 2 they didn't. Week 1 they didn't step up in the second half, but you got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball in 3 seconds. Then, yeah, you're not going to get to him. And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson's no Aaron Rodgers. I like Russell Wilson, but he's no Aaron Rodgers.
They drop back. They drop back and pass.
Doug Baldwin's out. Who's he going to be throwing? The Lockett?
Lockett.
Psych. A big pick right here. This is something new we're trying out. Trace Dawley's upset of the week.
Behind the camera.
Our cameraman Trace Dawley's coming up with an upset, and he's going to blow your minds a little bit right here. He's got the Browns over the Saints. He's got the Browns over the Saints. Tyrod Taylor
Jarvis Landry.
and Josh Gordon and Jarvis Landry, he thinks they're going to go out there and get the job done. If Ryan Fitzpatrick can do it, why can't Tyrod Taylor?
I think it could happen.
It could
I
happen.
don't think it's anywhere extreme, but I think I don't know. Something to look out for.
Yeah.
Something to look
Look out for.
your score sheets.
All right, well, that about wraps it up for this week's episode of the Pinewood Perspective. Catch us back next week around the same time, and enjoy watching your football this day.
Follow the Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your family,
Oh,
tell
yeah.
your grandmas.
Spread it out there, football fans. Spread it out there, baby.